what life is now, how there is seeing now, but it's not I see, or what is seen is just that which is visible. When understanding begins to develop, sada or confidence develops with it. So the more that the understanding develops, the deeper it grows until it is the direct understanding of what has been heard. Sada has to develop, confidence develops all the way with it.
Yeah, I would also, I think Jonathan made a good point. There are many different levels of verification, if you like. Just the other day, Nina was talking about pariyatti level of verifying, if you like, and then you've got pati level of verification. They're very different levels of panya. So we can see that verification has many different levels.
And when the understanding is the beginning level, when one's just beginning to hear about different realities, and that understanding is not firm, there's bound to be a lot of doubt and a lot of wondering, is it really true that I can't control what arises in life when I go to the supermarket and so on, because there's not yet the firm understanding of the dhammas in life as being all there is in life. Truth, there's no supermarket, no I that goes, there are no toilet rolls to be bought or not bought. There are just these different mental and physical phenomena, different namas and rupas of life. But the understanding has to grow and become deeper and deeper for that confidence to be firm. So when it seems there's no verification, it means it's because the understanding is not firm enough and there's a lot of doubt in between. But even those moments of wondering and doubt, they're real and there can be understanding right then and there.
I think what could be added on this point of verification is that at any moment there can be the verification of the reality that appears. And so at those moments, confidence is growing, even though we cannot say that's measurable, but it is growing, and to have more confidence in that development.
Right. And when we come back to, like if we read a detailed sutta like the Satipatthana Sutta and discuss it like we were last time, it seems it's not, what we read is not being verified. But if we ask ourselves, well, what is seen now? Is it a table or is it just that which is visible? Then we can see whether there is understanding at that moment. Because when I asked Min last time, then no question, it's clear that it's just that which is visible or what is touched, just that which is hardness. Min, I can see you've raised your hand.
Yeah, and I think, echo to Sudara and other people say, I think the best way, well, I don't know how it happened, but I think, for me, one of the best way is, when it just happened by the Dhamma arise, then at that moment you can, verify whatever, Dhamma arrive at that moment is true. The funny thing about this is that, you can't control about it. But it might happen sometime in your life, or it randomly, maybe you hear the Dhamma in this discussion today. You might not understand it, but at some point in time when you have in a shower, you are eating dinner, and then suddenly you realize something in that moment, and it's matched up with what you hear today, or sometime in the past, and you can and I think verification. I think for me that's the best way for verify what you hear, because then it just happened by the nature of like conditioned Dhamma somehow.
Ask, as you understand term verification, is there any verification now at the present moment?
If there is, then there might be a different way as well. For example, now I hear the sound, so that could be a different level of verification as well.
But there's no special understanding required for that, right?
No.
So it's just conventional verification, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no understanding of the Dhamma required to know that I see now, I hear now.
No, there's no requirement for that. But you know, at a deeper level, when you know it could be, you know, in some moment in your life you realize, you know, the something a little bit deeper in terms of like, you know, Dharma is no self, you know, it just happened on its own, on that sort of thing, and then you just, you know, rely on your in that moment, and in that moment you realize, you know, oh, what I hear, it now makes a lot more sense now.
But the understanding of a particular Dhamma as being no self has to be preceded by understanding of characteristic of that Dhamma anyway. Is that right? So in other words, the, say, visible object as no self cannot be understood unless there has been the understanding of visible object as just, for example, the object of seeing consciousness.
Yeah, so you start from,
physical
you know,
phenomenon.
maybe, you know, I listen to what you say now, or I read the book, or so the intellectual understand have to come first to actually understand about what we're hearing now. But then the, you know, at some point in our life, it, you know, that the other understand when, oh, you know, it just in that moment I can see what, you know, you talk about, you know, that I wasn't really what I say 100%. Oh, I thought I understand, but it wasn't the same as, you know, what this moment where I can see that, right? So that like for me that is a very different verification in that sense, and in when it happened in that moment, then I feel like, you know, it a lot clearer.
And can we say that the best form of verification is a moment of awareness and insight?
So can you say again?
Can we say the best verification is a moment of awareness and insight that has a conditioned Dhamma as its object?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, yes, I totally agree.
So rather than talk about verification generally, we can be more specific. We can say intellectual understanding, or we can say moment of awareness and insight,
Yeah.
or we can say conventional comprehension of the general theory and explanation given by the Buddha, right?
Yeah, and that's what I mean too. But you know, I don't know how to explain. I think even now you mentioned that I probably forget, you know, how to actually describe these three terms that you just mentioned now. But yeah, that I totally understand what you're saying.
Right, good.
Come back to this moment, like Nina said at the start. So now, what is Dharma now?
What I can hear, or what you're saying? Then this voice
So
coming out.
what is the reality? What is Dharma now?
Is what I hear sound from my speaker. I can see object in front of me, and instantly I recognize is John and Sarah.
Right. So when we say I hear sound from the speaker, but at the moment of hearing, what is heard?
Oh yeah, you know, I have to say I, but in that moment, you know, otherwise I can't just address you.
So the sound, for example, we say, oh, it's the sound from the speaker, or the sound from the wind outside, or the sound from the voice, but actually it's just sound that's heard now.
Exactly. But I mean, in the convention of the language, I never, you know, it doesn't make sense just to say hear sound, right? You know, so that's why, you know, we always attack the I or me or in the language when we communicate with each other.
But when we're talking about the development of understanding,
Yeah.
when there is we're talking about verification. So now, can it be verified that what is heard is just sound? No, as soon as there's an idea of the speaker or the voice or the cars outside, then it's thinking about what is heard, because at the moment of hearing, it's just sound, just that reality of sound. That is the Dharma. And the moment of understanding now that it is just sound heard, that is the beginning of verification.
Yes.
Different
That's
from
the
when there's
second.
the conventional idea of I can hear the sound from the speaker.
Yeah.
And And at the moment of hearing the sound, what hears the sound now?
Just hearing the sound, just the nama that hears the sound.
Just the nama, just the hearing, because however much we look, however much we try to find it, there's no I that can be found. It's just an idea I can hear, but at the moment of hearing now, it can be verified. There can be understanding right now that it is just hearing which hears.
Yeah. Can you repeat the three different verifications you just said? From my memory, it was the first one is the inside awareness that come in the moment by its own. The second verification is just the Dhamma now, and the third verification is convention. Is that right?
Well, these are not fixed levels. They were just examples that the term verification could be used in any number of different ways.
Yeah.
There's no actual Dhamma term that I can think of at the moment that we call kinds of verification. But as Sundar explained, because verify includes the word for truth, so we are talking about what is true, and then it means we are talking about panya, wisdom. So in the ultimate sense, it must be a level of wisdom. We know there are different levels of wisdom. We know that there is a beginning level of wisdom. And we know that there are factors, that the arising of wisdom requires certain conditions, certain factors to be in place. And there can be no actual verification in terms of the absolute meaning of that expression unless the Dhamma has been heard and considered and reflected. So again, it needs patience. It needs repeated listening and considering. And that's what we are all doing now, because those same factors are as important to everyone else here as they are to you and me.
So he verified that there is just hearing at this moment, not I that hears. Can this be verified?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
With understanding only.
Yeah. And start from the understanding.
Apart from understanding, no other way to verify what the Buddha has taught about the reality of life at this moment, like at the moment of touching, which we've discussed many times, and what is touched, and you will say hardness, not a table. So it can be verified at that moment of touching. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So this is the verification. So it has to be at this moment, not by thinking a long story like Nina said at the start, but at this very moment of understanding, no matter what level or what degree, it is verifying the truth of what we have heard about Dhammas at this moment.
We choose what is to be verified in any meaningful sense at the present moment. Because if there is any understanding or appreciation of the meaning of Dhamma, even at an intellectual level, that will happen by conditions. And those conditions will determine which aspect of the Dhamma is the object of verification at that moment. So when we say now there's the hearing of sound, then I can verify that it is hearing, ear consciousness, which experiences sound, for example, is unlikely to be a real level of verification. It's just like repeating something that we've heard, and we don't object, we don't disagree with that assertion, but it's not the same as verification in any meaningful sense of. Nina, any comments?
So when we hear that sound hearing and sound now, there is always an idea of self coming in too, but Panya can know that too, to try even a subtle trying. And it's important to realize that. But we can't choose the moment of verifying or awareness. But it depends also on confidence to not to give up, to continue, but never any choosing when. But even when we hear, we think, oh, that's so good, it's so true. And then still an idea of self coming in, wanting to try. Hearing is different from thinking of the voice.
You can see that the living alone that the Buddha taught is not the conventional idea like Nina is used to living alone, and now many of us are living alone because of the restrictions. But actually the real living alone can be proven to be just the moment of seeing now, just the moment of hearing. So there is living alone at each moment in life, no matter the circumstances, no matter whether we're out with our friends or in the supermarket, or whether we're at home on our own. These are just conventional ideas, but seeing now for a moment and then gone, hearing now for a moment and then gone. So there's living alone at each moment, no matter where or when or what the circumstances.
Time is marching on, and we have about 15 minutes left in the session. So I'd like to encourage anyone who's been sitting there quietly, thinking, waiting for an opportunity to ask a question or to make a comment, to let us somehow know that by raising your hand if we can see you, or unmuting your microphone if you're just on voice, and we'll try and give everyone a chance to have a say before we finish. So number one is Betty. Yes, Betty.
Okay. When there is awareness arising, a moment of awareness arising, we have to remember that when there has that when a moment of contemplation arises as well, this acts as a condition for panya to arise, and so that when panya arises, all these things, in other words, some of these aspects can be understood. The verification idea, the understanding at a deeper level, perhaps, of the whatever reality is arising at that particular moment. And this is all very helpful. In other words, when we can listen, and we hear someone say, for instance, understanding that this is a reality, not a pariyatti, that helps us, to kind of acts as a trigger, as a condition for, if the other conditions are there, there will be contemplation, and perhaps whenever the moment arises, a moment of understanding to arise. Again, all based on conditions, and it's very comforting to know that.
Thanks, Betty. Now I'm going to call upon in order, rough order. I'll just mention names now so you can prepare and say yes or no if you have anything to add. Mr. Zhao, Jeff, Sylvia, Sun, who had a question earlier, Anne, Vincent, and also our friends in Hoi An. I know Mai, Thai, and Tiny Dum are there. So we'll just go through you one by one, and yes or no if you have a question. Mr. Zhao, anything to ask or say?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
So very, 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 very nice to be here listening Dhamma. But I think I don't have any Dhamma question. Just listening. Okay.
Thanks for joining anyway.
I think questions at the beginning that he wanted to ask later. Sun, are you ready with your questions now?
Yes. I have a question in the nun already had a question to me. It's the in the VT sister of the I consciousness, the Santirana Chitta can with the feeling is neutral. It can be have a function of rebirth. But the question is why the Santirana Chitta with the feeling is enjoy, happy, cannot be the perform the function of the rebirth function. Can you give me the reason why?
Okay, so this is a detailed question, but in brief, when the rebirth is either in a woeful plane or when it conditions the rebirth, which is a result of very weak karma in a human realm, such as when there are no roots, when there are defects from the moment of birth. It's performed by this chitta, the Santirana chitta, and because it's a very weak chitta bringing about an unhappy result, it cannot be the one arising with happy feeling and also the one that conditions the rebirth in a human realm. It's kusala karma, it's wholesome karma that brings that result, but it's very weak wholesome karma. So it's always with neutral feeling.
Okay.
Yes.
Technical one. I think we'll move on. And Jeff, any question?
Nothing specific. I was just thinking while they're talking here about the understanding. It has to be by experience, and we talk about things. I think about like when I would go to the tropics. I live in a very cold climate, and I go to the tropics and I explain people what winter is like, and they think they understand. And then they come and visit a cold climate and they find out they didn't understand till they experienced it. And with the dhammas, the specific chittas arising, it's hard to know when you're actually experiencing something or just thinking about it. Is this a true experience or is this just conceptual thinking about?
Right, very important to be able to distinguish between what we call reality, what is real, what has a characteristic that can be directly known, and what is conceptual, thought about.
Right.
We don't clearly distinguish those in our daily life until we hear the Dhamma.
Yeah.
It actually comes back to the verification point, because we can read about the cold weather and what it's like to live there, but it's not been directly experienced. So there may be some doubt about what it really feels like or what the experience is really like, because it's not actually the direct experience. So it's the same when it's not the direct understanding of being at this moment or hearing right now. There's bound to be doubt because it's not firm understanding, the direct understanding at that moment.
Can I bring in our friends in Hoi An?
Yes,
I saw you
that
briefly a minute ago. Are you there?
Can we see you again?
Intl.Dhamma and Maya.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, good
John, how are you?
Good, thank
nice
you.
to meet you here.
Nice.
Are you still in Sydney or?
We're still in Sydney, still.
Oh, that's good. Yes.
We tried behind the curtain at the back. There's a beautiful view of the ocean, and we wanted to have the curtains open, but the light is so bright that you wouldn't be able to see us. But
it's even better. We might get distracted by the look of the ocean.
Yes, exactly.
I've got a question to ask you regarding about the verification with understanding. For example, like there's a need for me to go to the supermarket to buy things. So how, if in terms of direct understanding, I cannot say I want to go to the supermarket to buy things, and because of I do not understand very well about direct understanding, so I have doubts. Like I'm thinking, if I go there, I might get infected. So should I come or should I not come? So can you please explain to me about the understanding of whatever?
Actually, at that moment of thinking, shall I go to the supermarket or not go to the supermarket? Shall I join the Zoom discussion or not join it? Each moment of thinking is conditioned. Each moment is anatta. So maybe now they're thinking after the discussion, I'll go to the supermarket, but then a few moments later thinking, no, I'll leave it till tomorrow. So each moment is conditioned. It can't be any other way. Not I who thinks
ครับอาจารย์ดีมันใกล้จะจบมันโดนตัดแต่ว่าเนี่ยผมต่อให้
I
ใหม่
make
นะค
the
รับ
decision to go to the supermarket or not. But even that kind of thinking is conditioned
ครับ
and
ผมดี
anatta.
ครับครับ
And
So
I
who does the thinking here?
That's the point.
ครับผม
ยังถามเรื่องทั่วๆไปกันอยู่อะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
ครับ
มันไม่ใช่ความละเอียดลึกซึ้งอะไร
อ๋อน
อกจากจะเป็นพิเศษ
ครับ
แต่พอพูดถึง
ครับ
ที่ตัวอย่างที่ถามเราแต่ถ้าเขาคุยกันอย่างนี้เขาไม่มี
ครับก็มีประมาณตอนนี้36แต่ก็รวมๆประมาณ40ครับท่านอาจารย์มีวินเซนต์ด้วยครับผมใช่ครับกลุ่มที่เขากำลังสนทนากันตอนนี้ครับเป็นโอเพนครับทั่วโลกเลยครับครับแต่ส่วนใหญ่เป็นเวียดนามอาจารย์ฟังต่อนะ
แต่
ครับ
ทีนี้ถ้าเป็นตอนต้นๆนะคะ
ครับ
สำหรับคนใหม่
อ๋อ
ๆแล้วก็พวกเวียดนามก็ถามซ้ำ
ใช่ครับ
ใช่ไหมคะ
ครับ
ที่มันไม่เหมือนที่เป็นฝ่ายที่อย่างเป็นคุณโจนาธานแล้วก็คุณวินเซนต์หรืออะไรพวกนี้ค่ะที่เขาเรียนกันเยอะใช่ไหมคะ
ครับ
อย่างนั้นก็เราก็ช่วยได้แต่อย่างนี้พวกเขาช่วยกันได้ค่ะ
อ๋อ
เราไม่ต้องทำอะไรหรอกค่ะปล่อยเขา
ครับ
เขาไปถึงไหนกันแล้วค่ะ
ครับก็อย่างนี้ไงก็ถ้าเกิดว่าเขามีตลอดนี่ผมก็ส่งไปให้อาจารย์ฟังอย่างนี้ได้ไหมครับก็ไลฟ์ดีไหมครับครับ
ดีค่ะหมายความว่าให้ฟังว่าเขาสนทนากันเรื่องอะไรบ้างเผื่อจะก้าวหน้าหรืออะไรแต่ไหนนะคะ
ครับเพราะเขาก็อยากให้อาจารย์ฟังคุณนีน่าก็เข้ามาด้วยครับครับก็จะจบแล้วเดี๋ยวจะฟังต่อนะครับ
ค่ะค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะเยี่ยมเลย
ค
ค่ะ
รับ
ดีจังเลย
ครับ
ได้เลยค่ะ
We think
ชัดเจ
there
น
is
มาก
I
แล้ว
who goes
ค่ะ
to the
ค่ะ
supermarket, but in reality there are cheetahs, moments of consciousness, Chaitasikas, mental factors, and rupas, phenomena, nothing else in life.
That's quite deep.
Sit down.
Thank you.
Very nice to see you, Nam.
Hi, I'm Wing. Can I raise a question?
Yes, please. It'd be nice to see you if you have your picture, but Nam. Yes. How are you, Nam?
Wing. I'm Wing. I'm fine.
Oh, it's your younger brother. Nice to see you. How old are you now?
Very fine, thank you.
How old are you now?
10.
10. And what is your question? So nice to see you. Yes.
My question is every day I listen and considerate Dhamma, which is arise and falling away at the moment, such as seeing and hearing, greed, ignorance. Is that enough, or is there anything more I should do to develop the understanding in the right way?
It's
Okay. It's a big question too, because it's really all about the development of the understanding that the Buddha taught for 65 years. The short answer is that what else can I do? There isn't anything to do, but we can say the understanding can only develop very, very gradually, and we can only listen to the Buddha's description of the world and consider what he said as to whether it accords, whether it is how the world seems to us or not. For example, the Buddha said that in effect, that there is seeing and there is the object of seeing. There is hearing and there is the object of hearing. And he said they are different realities. Now, it may be that this is difficult to understand at first, but if it is heard and considered over time, then perhaps there will be a better understanding of what he meant. So, yes, there is lots more to be understood, but nothing to be done, sure.
So now, can you see Jonathan?
Yes, I can.
Can seeing really see Jonathan, or does it just see what is visible?
Just seeing visible objects.
Just the visible objects.
Just the visible object, and then thinking about Jonathan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for your good
Thanks
question.
for your question.
And how are you, Nam?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Are you in Dalat?
Yes, I'm in Dalat right now. Can't go anywhere.
No.
right.
So no swimming for your brother?
Yes.
No swimming, yes. But anyway, it's nice that you can join the Dhamma discussion. Yes. So I think you are teaching your brother well.
Yes, thank you very much.
And what is heard now?
Heard sound.
Sound. Can you hear my voice and my words? Or just sound?
Just sound.
Just sound. And then immediately, because of past memories, thinking about the different sounds and the meanings of the words, and thinking about Sarah, who you met in Hoi An, and so on. But the hearing just hears the sound now. Very nice to see you both. How about Ganga in Germany? Ganga, are you there? No. Hi, Ganga.
Turn on the, yes, I don't know where to turn on the video. So
Okay, maybe next time we can have some video, but we've got your audio right now.
Yes, I just feel very pleased to hear you, and the question of Nam is really make me feel very emotional. Very nice, yes. So I just wonder, is the right the right understanding of the moment when I hear the voice of Nam? So just like feel between happy, and then it's like I have like kind of a lot of emotion in the heart. I just wonder, is this really is wholesome chitta, or is this quite a mixing between what? I'm really unclear about that.
Usually there's hearing of the sounds and instant attachment like that. Like now, we're so happy to hear from our friends. So even though it's a discussion, the attachment comes in so quickly with pleasant feeling. And then when we say goodbye, maybe unhappy feeling, or so it just arises by conditions. No one decides to have happy feeling or sad feeling, but just we hear the sound of our friend instantly thinking about them who we know, and then attachment immediately. So that's life, moment to moment.
Exactly, the attachment is very strong.
Very, very strong. So, but better to know, better to understand that attachment arises instantly after seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching all day long. And if we didn't discuss the Dhamma, we wouldn't realize. And it's because of their attachment that it conditions moments of sad feeling and emotion and other things like this as well.
Wow, very nice for the reminding. Thanks a lot.
Very, very nice to see you, Ganga, to hear from you, and hope you can join next week at the same time.
Yes, hopefully that you can open this every week. It's really very nice for everyone.
And if you all prepare your questions or comments, it's also helpful.
Yes, yes.
We are happy to continue next Sunday, and sorry to have to cut short for today, but I know some of you are still looking for a chance to speak, but save it up for next time, perhaps. Anne, is that a plea, or are you just adjusting?
No, I was just trying to make sure I'm not unmuted, but I appreciate what you've done today. This is wonderful.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate all of your contribution too, because it's a group effort, and we all benefit from sharing the understanding.
Anumotana to both of you. It's wonderful being able to do this.
Would you look at the message next week? There'll be a different meeting ID number, but after that it'll be the same one every week. So we'll have to check again for the meeting next Sunday, but after that it'll be the same meeting identity number and password every Sunday. Thank you.
I think you just put up your hand. Zita, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear? Took a little while to sort it out, but
yeah, this is a familiarization session today.
Yes, no, it's been great.
Can you see different pictures, Zita?
Pardon?
Can you see the pictures of different people?
I can, but I don't have video myself. I've purposefully decommissioned it.
Okay, that's fine. It's nice to hear you. Anyway, Zita is in Queensland.
Wayan friend, did you get a chance to speak earlier?
Hi.
Oh, look who it is.
Yes. We're so glad that we can connect to all of you all over the world.
Yeah, I think we're acting as a communicator for the Vietnamese people in different parts of the world, mainly.
Right. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Let's say goodbye for now and meet again next Sunday.
Goodbye. We'll see you next Sunday.
Yes.
Sylvia, okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Great.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, John and Sarah.
Thank you.
Yes, wonderful.
Stay well. Stay well.
Yes, everyone
keep well. Keep a distance. And
as they say,
nice to see you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, John, Sarah. Sao mẹ không vào được để nói?
Yeah. How many did we have in the end?
About 40.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
I'm trying to get
Nina still there?
Oh,
Is
John.
Nina still there?
Please. Oh, John, can you hear me?
Okay.
ท่านอาจารย์พูด
Sorry,
ด้วยไหมครับ
John, we're not catching you.
Okay.
ได้ยินค่ะ
Okay. She can
Thank you
hear.
very much.
Yes, Warasak, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear อาจารย์
No.
ท่านอาจารย์ครับ
Just heard her briefly a minute ago, but now no more.
Okay, I'll try time. Okay, but yeah, she was listening to you all. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week.
Same time next week.
Okay. See you next week.
very much.
ครับผมท่านอาจารย์ครับเดี๋ยววันน่าจะเป็นผมว่าน่าจะเวลาเดียวกันนะครับท่านอาจารย์ก็น่าจะเวลาเดียวกันเนี่ยครับสำหรับอาทิตย์หน้าครับผมก็ขออนุญาตท่านอาจารย์โทรไปหาท่านอาจารย์อีกรอบหนึ่งนะครับครับผมอนุโมทนาครับผมครับสวัสดีครับครับผมครับทำไมเสียงอาจารย์ไม่มาเนาะเดี๋ยวก่อนเนาะไม่ใช่ คือเขาอะอยากได้ยินเสียงอาจารย์